got it. Looks like we are live, buddy.
Are we? Hold on. It still says I'm setting up here.
Mine says the meeting is now streaming live on YouTube, my friend.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. All right. Well, this is officially episode 7.
We're rolling right along, pal.
Roger.
We got week 1 of the NFL, Mikey. Like I said to you today when we were talking on the phone, it's like a kid on Christmas morning. It's been, 7 long months. And we will have football, real football in our lives for the next 5 or 6 months. We're kicking off tonight, buddy, with the defending champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which, I don't know, you kind of representing over there. Fire the cannons.
Hey, man.
Fire the cannons.
This team, they brought everybody back.
Everyone.
They're coming off a Super Bowl win. And
they have Tom Brady.
They also have the greatest quarterback to ever play. I don't even think it's arguable anymore. It's not even really up for debate. He was able to bring players like Gronk came back, Antonio Brown's down there, Leonard Fournette's happy to be there. Like Bruce Arians, like, hey, he'll do whatever. What does Tom Brady want? Just give it to him. I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers whole organization understands, like, it's largely the same team outside of a few players that was there when Jameis Winston was there.
Yeah.
Right. And then Tom Brady just comes in.
Yeah. I mean, they made a few tweaks. I mean, they made a few tweaks here and there, but yeah, no, it's a lot of the same players that were there with Winston. And that's actually, now we're not really getting into the Saints right now, but that's why there's a lot of optimism with him with New Orleans, is because granted the interceptions were very high, but he's one of a handful of quarterbacks, Mikey, that's thrown for 5,000 plus yards and, with 30 touchdowns. But that's for a later conversation. So I think the question that I have for you, do you believe the Bucs can repeat?
Yeah, I totally think so. That's not just, wearing the t-shirt and everything, but if you look now, they did have some calls go their way in the playoffs, right? Yeah, they did benefit a little bit, but I mean, you can't.
They were the best team.
Yeah, I believe so.
I think last year the best team won. Brady led them well, and the best team did win last year.
I mean, when they played the Chiefs, it was like, did Kansas City get off the bus? I mean, I don't know, like what, it was a pretty dominant performance there.
Yep.
But I do believe that the Bucs can repeat. You know what I mean? Like they do have that potential because they're bringing. It's year 2 of the same team, of the same system, of the same quarterback, right? Of the same mentality. It's the same. Why? Let me ask you this: do you think what is going against them for the 17-game season? I mean, the division, Drew Brees left the division. It's
very hard to repeat is I think the thing that they have going most against them. Like, you're talking now 15 plus years since a team's done it, the Patriots. But it's just the deck is so stacked against you.
What I'm working with here, people.
By the way, we do have some commenters. Somebody's mentioning that Brady changed the culture, and another person's mentioning that if you need a Red Sox hat, you can get one sent to you. But
nice to be invited. It's nice to be invited.
But it's just so hard to repeat. I mean, Kansas City was on the fast track to take that title and win 2 years in a row, and they were really close. The Patriots made it back a couple of years ago when they wound up losing to Philly. It's just so hard to repeat, which is why, I mean, I would bet against it, but if there was a team that is primed to do it, it is this Buccaneers team.
I mean, I don't know if if anybody can do it, if anybody can lead the way, it's Tom Brady. Right? He knows. If anybody knows what it takes to win and to consistently win, there's 2 people in the league that know what it takes, and that's Belichick and that's Brady.
I mean, could you just imagine if he ended his career with back-to-back Super Bowls? I mean, what a way to walk away. I mean, I'm not saying that he's done after this year, but if they were able to do it and they actually pulled it off and won, what a way to just, I mean, he's got the GOAT status. He's got it all, but he would walk away with his 8th ring in back-to-back titles. I mean, it just doesn't get any better than that. I mean,
yeah, and nobody's catching him. I mean, there's quarterbacks out there like Rodgers only has one ring, right? And he largely gets compared to Tom Brady, although the play style is different and everything like that. And Brady, he had the story earlier this offseason get released about the knee injury. He played all season on the I think it was the MCL tear or partial tear sprain or something like that, the knee injury. And so I said at the time, and I'm not, I don't have a crystal ball or anything. If Tom Brady were to choose to walk away, you could look like, all right, he's moving down to Florida. Right? I don't know if he's moving down to Florida, but it's down in Florida. It's like retirement central. He's in Tampa Bay, you know what I mean? And, he's winning Super Bowls. He's got the injury now with the knee. Maybe maybe he doesn't feel like he can really perform at a high level anymore. I mean, he's 44. He's 40. I mean, at some point you got to be, something's got to give at some point. And I mean, eventually he'll hang it up eventually. I mean, nothing lasts forever.
I mean, if Giselle has her way, I mean, he'll be done. But the guy just doesn't seem like he wants to hang it up. I mean, every time he's asked, he just keeps saying, while I enjoy it, I'm going to keep doing it. And it seems like he still loves playing, and he's still playing at an elite level. I mean, when I see him ranked anywhere below, 3rd or 4th on anybody's QB list, I just, I roll my eyes at it. He keeps doing it. And, to get back to the whole Bucs team, not strictly Brady, I mean, that whole offense is loaded. I mean, is it Goodwin or Godwin, the receiver?
Godwin,
Godwin and Evans, and then you have Antonio Brown as your number 3 receiver. They're saying that he's back up to full speed, and, you're going to have him almost as a slot / outside guy. You got Brayton, Gronk underneath. They are loaded, and that offensive line. They have a stout offensive line.
I think that's the most.
He could have a huge season this year. He really could.
Yeah, is that offensive line is coming back, and they know what Brady expects. They know what the expectations are. And it's a strong offensive line. And let's not take anything away. Let's not overlook the Bucs defense. They've got. My guy Ndamukong Suh on the line there, and they got some linebackers there. White, and the secondary isn't too shabby. I don't know the guys by name, but I mean they really, they really performed at a pretty high level in the biggest game of the year last season. I think they know the expectations rolling into this season, and
How is it down there? I mean, I know you're not right in Tampa, but is the anticipation pretty high?
From some of the Bucs fans I've talked to, yeah. But it's weird because I'm working full time now, and I know you're working full time now, and I work with a lot of people who don't watch football. And it's weird. They're like, yeah, I'm like, yeah, man, who do you root for? And they're like, oh, they watch tennis, tennis. What are you watching tennis? I'm like, who do you root for? Football, man. And so it's hard, I had to get in a fantasy football league. I'm sending out emails. I'm like, hey, is anybody, So, I mean, locally, I mean, you gotta, there's lots of football fans. There's lots of, people are following it, but it's just weird being around the majority of people I work with. I'm like, yeah, man, it's Thursday night, start of the football season. Come on, guys, 8:30, let's go. And they're like, I think we have a phone call tonight at 7. I'm like, I think we don't. I think we need to reschedule, make it 6. Don't push it forward. Don't push it, So yeah, man, I think, it's still a start of the season, and you'd be hard pressed to go into a restaurant or something like that right now and find people not watching football tonight. So,
I mean, and it's funny because up here it seems like there's like a hard divide between the Brady loyalists and the ones that are like, he's not here anymore. I don't want to see him succeed. It really doesn't seem like there's much middle ground. It seems like people are hard one way or the other. Me, if he's not playing the Patriots, I'm going to root for him. I rooted for him in the Super Bowl last year. But yeah, man, there's some very, very staunch, anti-Brady and very much for Brady people. And it's going to be interesting in 4 weeks when he comes to Gillette and to see what type of a ovation / non-ovation, I guess, he gets.
Man, you got to root for your team. I get that.
He gave this town 20 years.
Yeah,
20 years.
Yeah.
He gave us 6 Super Bowls, 9 trips to the Super Bowls. He was in the playoffs every single 1 year. He didn't make the playoffs. Excuse me. Yeah, well, technically 1 year as a full-time player, he didn't make the playoffs. And then the other year they didn't make it because he tore his ACL. Yeah. He never finished under 500. His worst season was 9-7. I mean, the guy, what he did here, you can't boo the guy.
You can't hate him. You can't have anything, in your heart truly bad for. I mean, when you take a step back and look at what some of these players give, and I wanted to kind of make that comparison because, well, it's not really a valid comparison because Brady is, the all-time winner. But Stafford now, he was in Detroit for 12 years or whatever it was, and now he's in LA. And a lot of Detroit fans are, they're still kind of like.
But he didn't voluntarily leave though. I mean, he was traded.
Yeah, he requested a trade. He saw the new regime coming in. It's going to be a rebuild and everything like that. And he was like, guys, I've been 12 years. He's been banged up. He's like, I want to go somewhere else and not be really part of the team that's going to be here, potentially going to be here, 4 years from now, right? Because he might be out of football.
Yeah.
And so, there's still part of me. I'm like, look, man, I hope you do well. I hope he succeeds over there in LA. I really do because he's been like the Iron Man. He hasn't.
He definitely changed. He definitely changed the Lions. Basically, the direction they were going. I mean, that team was. I know they only made the playoffs a handful of times, but that team was a perennial terrible team before he got there. I mean,
I know they were 0-16 the year before they drafted.
Yeah, and the laundry list of quarterbacks: your Charlie Batches, your Joey Harringtons. So, I mean, he did solidify that position.
Yeah,
now, I know.
We're gonna talk about something real quick. All right, the phrase you just used, I have a bone to pick with this.
What's that?
When you say the Charlie Batches and the Joey Harringtons and the Ben Roethlisbergers, there's only one of those people. There's not multiple Patrick Mahomeses or anything or Tom Brady's. There's one.
I don't know. The Lions seem to find the John Kitnas.
The John Kitnas of the world. There's one John Kitna. There's not. Anyway, I'm nitpicking here, but yeah, anyway, man. So
they had a string of.
The Browns,
backup starting quarterbacks.
Yeah, and none of them. I mean, they had Dante Culpepper back there for a cup of coffee and everything, and before he got there, and so you want somebody that's given that amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you shouldn't have to necessarily put in that interval of time.
Mm-hmm.
To be like, okay, you can go somewhere else now and succeed. I hope you do well. You don't owe me anything. You don't owe that franchise anything. Mm-hmm. If they're not getting you the offensive line that you desire, that you require to succeed, then go somewhere else, man. The franchise has its head in the ground. You know what I mean? Just call it what it is. You don't owe this loyalty that some players have to these franchises that aren't doing anything for them to win.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's tough to say that's what happened with Brady because I mean you're talking about the Patriots being a team that was perennial, that was friendly in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But I mean his last year here they were really scrapping for talent around him, and he still brought that team to the playoffs.
That's true. Yeah.
So, he's got his weapons now in Tampa. To get back to it, I mean, I am actually really interested to see how Tampa starts out of the gate. I feel like every year there's a team that starts like a bat out of hell and, starts blowing everybody away. And, by like week 7 or 8, that team, everybody's on that bandwagon, and then they kind of fall off.
Well, you got the Steelers did it last year. They were like 10-0, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody Steelers, and they were, they were winning games, right? And I know they might not have been blowing the doors, they weren't boat racing people consistently. But there's a win is a win anyway you slice it, right?
Yeah. Yep.
3 points or 30 points, a win's a win. Yeah. So if you're 10-0, if my team's 10-0, I'm just like, all right, man, playoff bound, like we're doing something right. Like, let's keep rolling with this momentum. And it all just kind of fell apart. That can totally happen for Tampa Bay this season.
Yeah.
It's a 17-game, 18-week season now. And so, you get the extra game in there, but, it's something to be mindful of that, that the season is now longer. There's another week in there. And we got what we want as fans. We got more football. But you're right. To repeat now with a longer season. If Brady does that, how do you not say he's the greatest quarterback we've ever seen? How do you not say that? Right?
You can't.
I don't think you can say it right now. You can't, there's no real argument here. He wanted it when he was 43 years old. You remember when Vinny Testaverde was or that was like, Vinny, baby, I love you. But
he was saying it on. He was saying it on.
Brett Favre was playing in the old age. It's like, Brett, hey, just it's time, and Brady, there's been no drop off. There has been no, he's still producing. He's still producing at a high level, and he's probably going to do it again this year. What data do we have that says Tom Brady's going to stop playing at a high level? I don't have any. Somebody might have some.
And all the reports out of Tampa is that he looks as good as ever, and that the health is there. Something like 15 or 20 players on the team are now training with Brady's personal trainer there, Guerrero. Everybody's buying into what Brady's doing. He's the best.
Have you tried avocado ice cream? Is this
I have not gone that far yet.
I'll tell you what, Joey, we're live on the internet, on the interwebs. If Tampa Bay wins tonight by greater than 6 points, not 6 points or greater, but by greater than 6 points,
okay,
I will try and find first avocado ice cream, and I will document me eating it. I can't promise I'll eat the whole thing, but I'll try a scoop. You know what I mean?
Hey, I don't. That's okay.
I'm not gonna. This? You can't leave.
I'm not going to join you on that one. No,
it's a bunch of crap. What are you kidding me? Come on.
No, I'm not going to join you on that.
I'm alone in the avocado ice. Okay, man.
You're on your own. You're on your own in that one. Pal.
Yeah, I don't know if I can do any of the other. But anyway, man. So look, tonight's game is Tampa Bay and Dallas, and I feel like we need to talk a little bit about the Cowboys here.
The story of the game is the Bucks. Everybody knows what everybody knows. Yeah, the story of the game is the Bucks. Real quick, 10 seconds or less. Outlook on the Bucks this year. What's their final record?
I got them going. I give them 13-4. They're probably
13-4
games. Yeah,
I'm right there with you. 13-4. Yep.
Yeah.
Some people are already talking about them running the table.
I don't think they go undefeated. It's I don't know, man.
It's not.
I think. Happen. Well, I think now players.
It will never ever happen.
Yeah, if they didn't do it over there in New England, when they were all together, I think it was the Moss year. They went was it 19-1 or something like that?
18-1.
They went undefeated in the regular season. That's good.
Yep.
I think we'll take it. And I think the year before, Detroit
and then Randy Moss went and hid in the playoffs. All right, listen. if we're going to talk about something else, we're going to flip the page and we're going to talk about the huge story in New England. How Cam Newton was given his release.
I feel like you run the show, and I'm here to just eat avocado ice cream at this point. That's what.
Well, we got to talk.
Go ahead.
All right. We both were on the same page that we thought Cam Newton should be the starter going into the season. We were both wrong.
I will admit I was wrong. I called Cam week 1. I thought, you got a rookie quarterback coming in there. Alabama historically under Nick Saban, even under Nick Saban or even before Nick Saban, which I think was like back in like 1902. I think he's been there forever. Being sarcastic. Hasn't really produced a quarterback, right? I mean, now we have 3 in the league there. If you count Jalen Hurts, he was at Alabama. He did play at Oklahoma there. But Belichick. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you got it.
Well, Belichick and Nick Saban know each other.
Yeah.
There's a connection there. So, I don't think. I think Belichick kind of knew. I mean, they went and spent the money in free agency this year. They really haven't. I mean, every year you bring in a couple of free agents, but this year it was kind of pronounced, right?
Yeah.
And they needed a quarterback. Mac Jones was there. He probably made a call to Nick Saban and was like, "Hey man, just tell me more about this guy. Like, what are his strengths? How do I keep him motivated? How do I, what do I need to put around him? Do I need a strong supporting cast?"
Yeah.
Right. So they may have known, right? They went and got those free agents. They may have even known like they were drafting Mac Jones way before the draft, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're kind of rolling the dice, waiting for him to drop to 15.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that Cam still has a little bit left in the tank. I think they should have rolled with Cam for like the first, I call it 6 weeks. But maybe you just can't wait that long. I mean, Belichick knows September is it's a longer season.
I think that they just saw enough in the preseason and in practices. I mean, the kid just beat him. I mean, he was just a better quarterback. I'm not getting carried away here and don't take this for what it's not. But the offense it resembled the offense they had when Brady was here for the last 20 years, when Mac Jones was on the field. Get the ball out quick, drop back, 2 steps, get it out quick, find the check down guy, don't hold on to the ball, know the reads, know your checks. It seemed in the few series that he played that he was reading the defense, he was calling out the mic. So it seems like he's got a hold on the offense. I said this last time. I think people, anywhere where there's a rookie quarterback, I think people need to, temper their enthusiasm, I guess, that, listen, the success rate of quarterbacks, and again, we went over this last time, is very, very low. The success rate on hits on first round quarterbacks is not high. So he may have had a good training camp, and this isn't just for Mac Jones. This is Justin Fields. This is Trevor Lawrence. This is Zach Wilson, who's the Jets fans are going crazy about. Yeah. All right. Let's see them play a couple weeks. Even if they all have a great week 1, great week 2, even if they have a great first September, let's wait a little while. Even myself, I was very pessimistic on Patrick Mahomes his first year. And,
I remember that.
I was ultimately wrong. I will eat crow on that one.
It's okay to make your predictions, but, we have to admit that, like, hey, we missed, mm-hmm. right? Do you not want to keep Cam? I mean, you don't keep Cam as the backup. Is there too much? Is that a distraction or?
I think more it's just a matter. Yeah. I don't know if it's so much the distraction of more that it's they didn't. I think they felt like they owed it to Cam to just to to not be the backup. And they basically.
Do you think it would have been like, hey, dude, look.
I think they gave him the option. I think they gave him the option. I think they probably told him, you can sit here and ride the bench. The kid won the job. We're going to go with him. You can be the backup. And I think Cam just said no.
Who's the backup then? Who's the backup there in New England?
Brian Hoyer.
Hoyer?
Yeah. Because Cam Newton on one of those like a LeBron James type podcast. He's mentioned on several of those type things that there's not 32 quarterbacks in the NFL that are better than him, and he believes that there is a spot out there for him to be a starter. So maybe they went to him and he just said, no, I don't want to be the backup, and they let him go. They said, all right, go ahead and find your starting job.
Yeah, and I mean, there's probably a place for Cam, right? I mean, Josh McDaniels is running that offense, right? I mean, Belichick probably, oversees it, but I think Belichick's fingerprints are all over the defense, all over like player decisions, player personnel decisions, stuff like that. Belichick knows offense, but he probably lets McDaniels run the majority of it. And that's why I think that McDaniels hasn't left, for one of these head coaching gigs that are open every year, and his name always gets thrown around. But he was probably like, dude, we're rolling with Mac, and if the players on offense, if the wide receivers are coming out of their breaks faster, stuff like that, if the offensive line is, they're more apt to block for him, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just you gotta roll with the person who's, generating that pulse in your team.
And I think that's what Mac has done throughout training camp.
Yeah. And if he's, he's not coming in there to be like, yeah, man, like, it's cool to be in the NFL. Like, he played at a high level at Alabama. He played in national championship games. He knows, when you go to Alabama, like, what the stakes are. This isn't, hey, maybe we'll get a bowl game. Maybe we'll play in the what is it? The Emeralds Peanuts Bowl, or something like that.
Yeah, he's playing in national championship.
Yeah. He's won the national, you know what I mean? So, he knows football at a high level. So go to the Patriots.
And to that point, Mike, I mean, we kind of touched on this in our last episode too. Because you had mentioned, Alabama not being a quarterback school, which historically they haven't sent many or any that I know of pro level quarterbacks to the NFL. But there's so many schools that, like I said, we could say that about. I mean, we go, my favorite school is Michigan outside of Brady. I mean, what do you got? What are you going to say? Jim Harbaugh? Elvis Grbac?
The argument isn't Alabama. It's not that. So, I know we already talked about this. The thing is about Alabama is that no one has had the success that Alabama has had in college football. Nobody. It's not close, right? And for them to not produce, not one quarterback, not one, right? I'm not saying that other schools, there's not, you're right. It's very hard to hit on the quarterback position.
Yep.
Which is another reason why you say fit matters. And so for Mac Jones to go to New England, he might be the one in this line of quarterbacks that hasn't had the success. And that might be another thing is that, we see these quarterbacks have success at Alabama. We think they would just throw them into whatever team and not give them some type of support or something like that. Every quarterback needs help, right? I mean, even Brady may have not needed the help. I mean, he was throwing to nobody for all those years. And I get it. So maybe he's the exception to the rule, but I mean, even like Peyton Manning had Marvin Harrison and those guys, Mahomes has, Kelsey and, those are,
you got to have something to work with.
There's gotta be support.
So, I mean, but you have to look at now, the last three Alabama teams now have quarterbacks in the NFL. I mean, there's going to be 3 starting quarterbacks from Alabama in week 1.
Yeah. So we'll see, man. I mean, the Dolphins were rumored to be trading for Deshaun Watson already.
Yeah.
And so let's,
right. That's a big rabbit hole they want to go down.
So, I mean, well, what's that tell you about Tua? Tua's not even a captain on Miami. Yeah. Can't even name him captain. So, okay. Jalen Hurts, we'll see. Good luck in Philly, man. That he's throwing to nobody. He's got a couple guys in the offensive line that can block. I don't know. We'll see what goes on with the defense. And I mean, Godspeed. But I actually think Jalen Hurts can produce. He was when Doug Peterson was there before he got canned very unceremoniously. I mean, how do you win a Super Bowl and then was it 2 years later they get rid of you? Like, what is that, man? I mean,
Yeah,
like, dude.
That was out of left field on that.
Even
one.
Philly's like, bro, that's even for us, that's bad. Like so yeah, you're right. We do have 3 starting quarterbacks. One is a rookie, so we'll see. All right.
This is
so
true. Mac Jones was not named captain of the Patriots.
Well, I think that Mac is definitely in a position to succeed. They're not going to. It's probably going to be more of a running offense, screen pass, stuff like that. He's not going to be asked to push the ball, very deep on consistently. The defense is all coming back. He's had the full preseason. It's not the COVID year, although we still have COVID, and that's a different conversation. But whatever. They were able to have the training camp and everything, so that benefits him. He's under Belichick, under McDaniels. They got the system in place. And so I think that Mac is definitely, of all the rookie quarterbacks, he's in the best position to succeed. I think Trey Lance, I think it goes like Mac Jones, Trey Lance, in terms of positions to succeed. Mac, Trey Lance, probably Justin Fields, and then I don't know what you do with maybe Trevor Lawrence, then Zach Wilson.
What's tough is that, the 2 top quarterbacks in the draft are definitely put in the worst position to succeed. You're talking those 2, arguably are the most talented, but they're in tough spots.
They are. And I mean, you're drafting at the top like that for a reason. But San Francisco, I mean, that's a team, you're talking about a team talking Super Bowl. I mean, they're not thinking about like, hey man, let's go. I would say 500, but they're not going 500 anymore. But they're not looking to go 8-9 or 9-8. I mean, that's a team ready to win the division and make a deep run in the playoffs up there with the Packers and everything. I mean, the whole NFC West really. So, but yeah, I think that Mac he's in a position to succeed. If somebody's running the same program the same way for the same amount of time, I have questions, there with Nick Saban and Alabama and all the other players that they do turn out and everything. But even though he does come from Alabama, he is in there with Belichick and everything. And that's got to mean something. That's something big. He's not there with the Jets. He's not under Urban Meyer.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not in a rebuild.
I mean, obviously, I hope it all works out. But we shall see for Mac. And like I said, it could be a very strong. It seems like it could be a very strong quarterback class. I'm a little hesitant to anoint it yet.
Yeah, I mean, some of these guys aren't going to make it every year, right? And we'll see. It might be Trevor Lawrence.
They've all shown the ability. I mean, if nothing else, it doesn't seem like there's a JP Lossman in the group, but it doesn't seem Blake Bortles actually had success. So I'm not going to use Blake Bortles. But it seems like it's a decent class of quarterbacks. So I'm not going to, like I said, I'm not going to anoint him yet, but there's a little optimism there for all 5 of them.
I think there should be. I think that quarterbacks, I think that players overall are now, quarterbacks especially, are they're running more pro-like systems in college. Not everybody's running like the run and shoot or something like that. So they're more NFL ready, but we'll see. Who. There's a difference between being an NFL player and staying an NFL player, as former players have talked about. So we'll see who can just kind of like mentally wrap their head around, what it takes to be a professional football player, and who we got to wait and see, man. We really do, that's it. But it is exciting.
Somebody just commented, Tim Couch. There's another one. What do you? All right, Mike. Let's do a quick wrap around here. I hear the Bucks are raising their banner. I want to go through just some of the award predictions. What do you think about doing something like that real quick? Just some award predictions.
Go ahead with it.
Real quick. What do you have for your? We'll start with the MVP. Who are you going for MVP?
Well, I would say Rodgers, but he won it last year, so it's probably Mahomes this year.
You think Mahomes wins? So that would be 2 out of 3 for Mahomes, right?
It's going to be a quarterback, because nobody else outside of quarterback wins it anymore. It's not going to be like Aaron Donald wins it or something like that. But yeah, I think we're looking well.
So
I mean, maybe Brady comes in and
would you say it's pretty clear that it's, you know, the 1, 2, 3 would probably be Mahomes, Rodgers, Brady?
what about Josh Allen?
That's a real good pick right there. I mean,
Josh Allen might get it.
That's a real good pick. That is a
I
real
think they're
good
kind
pick.
of
Josh
primed.
Allen.
I'll roll with Josh Allen actually.
Yeah. A sleeper I'm gonna throw out there, just because I just keep hearing so much about him this offseason, and it seems like he's gonna be a big part of the offense. I think Nick Chubb might get some might have a big year.
I would really like it if a running back would win it, but if a running back's even going to be in consideration, they got to be up near 2,000 yards.
Mm-hmm.
They have to do something crazy, and
it just seems to me like
kind of
Cleveland's going to feed him the ball a lot. I think I'm not saying he's going to win, but I think that, you know, if there was a sleeper out there, my sleeper would be Nick Chubb. But I agree it's going to come down to I think it's going to come down to one of those 4 quarterbacks we mentioned. And then, you know, that rolls right into your, you know, offensive player of the year, which is if the quarterback wins MVP, I feel like they always try to find a running back that wins, you know, offensive player of the year. I feel like that's kind of usually how it shows up, which is why I would say that I wouldn't be surprised if Nick Chubb takes that if one of those quarterbacks wins the MVP.
Okay. I mean, I'd be okay with that because, you know, MVP and offensive player of the year typically, you know, can't really be the same guy, right?
Yeah. It's weird. It's kind of weird how they do that, but I mean, it's, you know, we'll say, you know, Josh Allen wins MVP. Well, wouldn't that also make him the best offensive player? I get it.
I would like to see Derrick Henry run away with it. Actually,
I think he comes back down to earth this year. And it's not because of his talent, but I just feel like he's going to be such a focal point on that offense. And I know they got Julio Jones, but I feel like, you know, the defenses are really going to be, you know, telling Ryan Tannehill, you're going to be the one that beats us, not Derrick Henry. And I think that they're going to be doing whatever they can to take Henry out of the game.
That's good luck, man, because Tannehill can do that. I mean, Tennessee's offense is a problem. Mm-hmm. Tannehill in Tennessee almost sounds like a radio show or something, but yeah, I mean, Tannehill he's not a bad quarterback, man. I mean, he made some throws last year. I mean, yeah, they're running, you know, they can run the ball. The offensive line is solid. I'm pretty high on Tennessee of repeating and winning that division. I don't see a whole lot of drop off there. I mean, I know Indy, and I do like Frank Reich as a coach, but what drop? I mean, it's kind of like the Brady thing. I mean, did Tennessee get worse? I mean, Arthur Smith left for Atlanta, but so I'm all in on Tennessee. I think Derrick Henry could challenge for that offensive player of the year. I'd like to see a running back get it.
Now, do they do an AFC and an NFC offensive player of the year? Or is it just one?
I think it's just NFL wide, man. Yeah. You can tell how up to date we are on the NFL awards. Yeah.
Well, let me add. All right. So then, So if you're going with Derrick Henry, we'll go. Let's do this. Who do you think is going to be the top wide receiver this year? I mean, you got Michael Thomas.
Well, you got DeAndre over there in Atlanta. Thomas, he's not playing for a little bit. You know.
Yeah, he's going to be out for a while. Plus, it doesn't sound like he's happy there.
Mike Evans might do it up.
Mike Evans is a good pick.
DK Metcalf up there.
I think Julio Jones's numbers will. I will going to disagree on Tannehill. I don't think that Julio Jones is going to benefit from that move. I thought there were better places he could have ended up. I think that Diggs is going to have another big year.
I was going to Allen there. Yeah,
Allen's going to just feed him the ball. I mean, I think he set the record last year for receptions. I mean, honestly, if they're able to increase on those numbers, I mean, you could possibly consider Diggs as an outside shot of either, offensive player of the year, or, a receiver doesn't win MVP, but maybe they'll make an exception if Buffalo has another year.
The wide receiver over in Green Bay is Devontae Adams. Yeah, he's definitely going to be up there. He might even be up there for offensive player of the year.
Yep.
So the best wide receiver. I mean, I'm leaning towards like DeAndre Hopkins. I think that offense over there in Arizona's, for some reason, maybe just
So
because they're in
good.
the NFC West, is
And I
beating
told
up
you,
the
I
market.
love Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
I love him.
So I mean, I don't know, maybe Tyreek Hill or something like that. But no, I mean,
There's so many of them.
so
There's a lot of good receivers out there. I mean, it could be
I'll say this,
It's-
final answer. I'll just go DeAndre Hopkins, but that's
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many to pick from. Like I said, I'd go with Diggs just because I feel like he does so many. He runs so many different types of routes, and like I
He
said,
does everything well.
He's out, and like Allen just loves him.
Yeah.
You're talking about a guy that's.
I would too if I'm throwing to Stephon Diggs.
Yeah. You know, they definitely got their money's worth in that trade. You know, I've always hated defensive player of the year because, you know, I feel like it's just, you know, granted, Stephon Gilmore won it a couple of years ago, even though I didn't think he should have. I always feel like it just goes to the guy with the most sacks. Aaron Donald seems like he's a guy that's a shoe-in to win it every year. TJ Watt is probably going to get a bunch of sacks this year. So he's probably
TJ Watt, my man. Dude just got paid. He's ready to roll.
He's just got $110 million or something like that.
I saw it was like 80 million guaranteed, and it's more money than my investments will ever add up to combined. So it's not even fair. Just invest it, TJ. Just put it away. All right, that's my advice.
Yeah.
Buy Vanguard.
Well, I mean, I think for defensive player of the year, I think it strictly comes down to name, you know, popular names, and I think TJ Watt will get a lot of votes as long as he has a TJ Watt year. I think he'll win it. Him or Aaron Donald would be the two for me that are the two obvious choices.
I mean, a cornerback has to have like 10 interceptions or some crazy, right? It's just the NFL. I mean, there is defense that gets played.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the defense does take the field, but I mean, we have to come back to equilibrium here at some point, right? I mean, these games that are, 45-40, I mean, I get it. You know, we want to see scoring and we want to see points.
Well, that's how the games usually start. That's how it is usually early in the season. And then they kind of, it comes back down to earth a little bit once the defenses start, seeing what they're going up against. But yeah, early on, because it's Madden, like, you know what I mean? It's, like you were saying, 45-42. Like I'm sure tonight it could very well be a shootout.
Yeah. I'm not saying I want to see these games that are like 12-10 or something like that. I don't. There's got to be like a little bit of balance in there. But these games that are 28-24 and 4 point, you got to score a touchdown at the end. Stuff like that. It's pretty exciting. Hey, you want to see some offense. You want to see some defense. I don't want to take out big hits, big legal hits. Mm-hmm. Right. I still think that if you hit the quarterback hard, that's allowed. You just, you don't want to hit anybody in the head. You don't want to end any careers. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you want to put the strike zone on them, I don't know, but you still got to be able to let a linebacker be a linebacker, man. You don't tell a fish not to swim. So, I mean, it's
good analogy.
It's kind of, it feels like it's getting there. And I mean, if I don't want to see it get there in the name of points, like it's just like football is competitive sport and it has become entertainment. So there's going to have to be a defensive player of the year. It's probably going to be a popular name. Mm-hmm. I think it'd be cool if like a popular safety won it or something like that. Maybe a guy like Bobby Wagner wins it.
Yeah.
If he hasn't won it before, you can tell how up to date we are on the awards, but so that'd be cool. But it would be nice to see. It would be nice to see the Tampa Bay defense go on a run this year, like they did, mm-hmm. No drop off from the Super Bowl, and they just because that defense was just they gave.
They're good, and they have the potential to be really good.
Yeah.
Well, we're getting up against it, Mike. Real quick, give me a Super Bowl pick.
Teams or who?
Give me the teams. Who you got in it?
I got man, I want to say Tampa Bay and Kansas City, but it's not. I know, because I mean that nobody left, nobody moved, man. Everybody came back.
It's so hard to bet against either one of those teams. It really is.
It like you tell me, man. And so I can see Tampa Bay not making it. I can see there, but I'm gonna go. I think I don't know, man. You go first. Give me a second here.
All right.
You know what? I'll say this, man. I'll go Tampa Bay. I think they repeat. That's my bold prediction.
All right, so you're going with them. You're going with the Bucks to repeat.
I'm going with the Bucks. But I think the Bills get there this year. Actually, I think Josh Allen. I think they get over the hump.
My dad just commented Patriots Vikings.
It could happen. It totally could. I mean, the Vikes are another team that. I mean, Dalvin Cook. He could easily get offensive player of the year.
The Vikings will not be in the Super Bowl,
they might. I mean, they're not really a team that's. They're another team that's just like, dude, we're ready to go right now. You know what I mean? That's their defense is ready to roll, man. The offensive line is stout. They got a heck of a running back, and all Kirk Cousins has to do is not screw it up. I mean, really.
Well, that's a big ask for Kirk Cousins. Let's call it spade a spade.
It's kind of, yeah.
All right, so who do you have the Bucks beating in the Super Bowl?
I got the Bucks over the Bills in the Super Bowl, man.
Bucks over that would be a fun Super Bowl. That would be a really fun Super Bowl.
Yeah. But those are two teams that, I'm kind of, it's tough because I know the Packers are up there this year. Rodgers coming back and everything like that. I don't think Seattle's there. I think that they're still figuring it out. I don't know why. I don't believe in Seattle. I think San Francisco is another team that we really need to be aware of. The AFC is pretty stacked. I think Cleveland is getting ready to make a pretty big run this year. The Bills, the Chiefs.
Give me the Bucks.
I think the Titans are up there as well. And if Carson Wentz can play and stay healthy, the Colts are, going to challenge for it too. But
give me the Bucks and the Patriots.
Well,
give me the Bucks and the Patriots.
The Patriots are ready to go. The team outside of Mac Jones, you're looking at a lot of veteran leadership there.
There is a lot of talent on this Patriots team.
That defense is not. They're not messing around, man.
Yeah, so, I got my head in the sky, Mikey. I know that, but hey, you know what?
Look, we're all undefeated up until tonight. So
that's it, man.
Yeah.
The Lions are going to have a better record than somebody by the end of the night.
Oh man.
The Lions are going to be a half game up on somebody by the end of the night in the NFC.
You know what? I'm taking it week by week here. Okay, we're taking it one step at a time, and we'll roll with that. So I am excited to see. I am excited. I think a lot of people are interested to see how Jared Goff does.
It'll be interesting to see Goff with that offense.
Yeah. So that'll be cool. It'll be cool that the Lions might get talked about outside of you and I. So that'll be nice. But I know, hey man, we got a game to watch.
That's it, buddy.
It's
right up
be
until
a good
kickoff.
One. The reign of Brady continues, and I'm sure we'll be firing some cannons tonight. So
give me a quick score for tonight.
I got 35-20. I got 35-27. Tampa over
35-27.
Yeah.
Give me 42-21. 42-21 with garbage time points for the Cowboys.
So that means I'm definitely eating some avocado ice cream. All right, we'll do it, man. We'll get it done. All right, man. So that'll be that.
Another good episode, brother.
Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll try and make this a weekly thing as usual, but we do have full-time jobs and one of us is traveling. So we'll do what we can.
Take care, guys.